Thread. For some reason, there are cats that love pin cushions, these squishy little pin cushions. And here you can see this person left some thread inside a needle. And, oh, isn't that a wonderful thing to come and play with? I'm just going to come and I'm going to get that thread, and I'm going to, if you're a kitty, you're going to
pull that right out.
Pull that right out, and this needle can get caught in their mouth and can get caught, you know,
well,
wherever.
and I will tell you, I was married to a fisherman, and you know, he'd have his tackle box out, and of course there's all these feathers attached to it, and all hooks and so on and so forth, and it was like an automatic magnet. I mean, he'd open that tackle box, and boom, you know, they're right there. So it's just amazing how they're attracted to these types of things, and it's so easy. You turn your back or you don't look for just a few minutes, and
or even
you've
a dog,
got issues.
Yep, even a dog sniffing around a tackle box, get that a hook in their nose.
Right.
If you've ever had, you know, a fish hook, here again, a fish hook is not something that you should just pull out. You need to seek medical attention. We did have a little ornament over here. Just a reminder, you brought up a really good thing, Joni, when you mentioned feathers. Feathers are used for so many things. They're even used on some of the cat toys that people buy. Depending upon the feathers, usually cats won't eat the feathers, but again, because they get it in their mouth, it can get attached to that little Barbie tongue that they have, and they can't spit it out, and so they end up swallowing it or ingesting it.
Right.
So feather toys is something that I really would recommend that people buy them, play with them, have fun with them, but be cautious. Maybe put them away when you're not able to watch or keep an eye on your pet. Candles. Everybody seems to love candles. We're always looking for nice fragrances in our home, so we have candles burning. Candle flames, first of all, start a fire. Dog can tip them over. You're going to end up with a fire started in the house, or a dog with burnt whiskers, or kittens with melted whiskers. You know, when you have these little things, if you want to have candles out, I have found some of the taller containers that I can put a votive type candle in, probably about the size of this can that I have here, a decorative votive, like a jar almost, so that candle is deep down in there, safe to burn. Something else that you can put in your window, whoever invented these, they're wonderful. They're little imitation candles, and they flicker, and they're just as interesting. But if you have pets and small children and you want to have candlelight, this is a safe way for you to have candlelight.
Right.
And you don't have to worry about when this is burned out, it just goes out. When this burns out, you can end up with wax all over, or something else that can, you know, be harmful to your pet, or your small children, as a matter of fact. So, candy. Joni can't wait till the end of the show because she's going to eat the candy. We, you know, as Americans, as humans, we love our candy, and we have candy around a lot.
Year-round?
Year-round. That's just a year-round thing. And, you know, these cellophane wrappers, especially the foil wrappers, real enticing because they make a crinkly sound. They sound like a toy. So, you know, dogs especially, like, ooh, I don't know about your dog, but my dog doesn't know how to unwrap these.
Well, I will tell you, I can be doing this in the kitchen, and my dogs can be upstairs, and as soon as they hear this kind of crinkly sound, boom, they're right there. They don't, I mean, they've got radar. So they're attracted to it. You're absolutely right.
No cheating. You can't have candy without them, right? And of course, and chocolate itself is toxic to animals.
Absolutely.
It can be poisonous to animals. So people need to be aware that as much as you love your pet, don't share your candy bar with your pet. Have a dog treat for them.
And be careful around Easter time, too. Obviously, people have Easter baskets, and they have a lot of candy out and so on and so forth.
And it's in the open.
And it's in the open, and a lot of times, I mean, and it's just, you know, it's a hospitable, warm, welcoming thing that you want to do, but you really need, again, to think about, you know, leaving that candy unattended with pets.
Right, and even if it's on a table, I have larger dogs.
Right.
If they really want it, they can just put their feet up on that table and help themselves.
Yeah,
so
I had a friend,
a covered candy jar.
I had a friend who, unfortunately, at Easter time, went away, came back. Her dog had eaten everything in Easter basket, and unfortunately they were not able to save the dog.
Yeah.
He had just ingested so much chocolate that it
Right.
just was,
And-
it's toxic.
Right, and when I was a little girl, we had a little dog, and she ate part of a pan of fudge. And she was so sick for 3-4 days, we didn't
Yeah.
know if she was going to pull through. And so, you know, if your dog or your cat is acting lethargic, or they're throwing up, or they have extreme diarrhea, that's a way to know that, ooh, maybe they got into something. We need to go to see the veterinarian.
And this is, you know, you hit a good point, Cheryl, in that, you know, people really need to be thinking about this. If your dog or cat is acting unusual, please, please, please make an appointment. Get to your veterinarian as soon as possible. Don't wait. There's household hazards all the time, and sometimes we just don't think about
Right.
those things. So you know your animals. Watch for the cues. Watch for the personality cues. I mean, you said it yourself. If your animal is acting unusual, don't take chances. Get them into the veterinarian. That's the best thing to do.
Right.
Because it makes a difference.
Yeah, it really does. So we were talking about candy and candy jars. Another hazard in the family or in the household that we don't think about is potpourri. Here we got a nice little covered dish, and you know, it looks safe enough, but then I want the smell to permeate the air, so I take the cover off. And or I have my little potpourri pot going with some smells in it. Again, this can be very tempting. There, you know, this smells kind of woodsy and cranberry-ish. Wonderful thing for kitties to chew on and play with. Dogs too can get into this. This is dangerous. There are dyes, and there's no warning on here that says, you know, I don't think they're thinking about people ingesting this. So there isn't a warning on here. So you need to do that. And we are going to provide a poison control or the poison center's phone number, so that if you think that your dog or cat has gotten into poisonous plants, drugs are another thing. Household drugs, aspirin. Aspirin is toxic to cats. It can kill a cat. Just a small amount of aspirin. Never give your cat aspirin. Different types of, you know, you take your vitamins in the morning and you set the bottle down, or you knock the bottle down.
Or you drop some pills on the floor, or whatever, you know, I mean, that things like that can happen, and you really need to be able to, again, just use some common sense. Think about what you're doing, and obviously pick those things up.
Right. Well, and that's where it comes in handy if your dog knows the command, leave it, so that your pet can, you know, leaves it alone.
Right.
So you want to do those things. Here we got a ball of yarn that kind of belonged over here with our threads and things. But again, if you're a crafter, if you do a lot of handwork, some people do needlepoint, or they do the plastic canvas, or they knit or crochet. Balls of yarn are wonderful toys for kitties. But here again, this gets in their mouth, gets caught on their tongue, and it can get wrapped around their tongue, and it just is a real hazard. Well, I see Joni has a little visitor coming up to visit her.
Yes, I do.
Here we have little Randall. And maybe we can hear some other things that pets might get into. You might have some caramel apples at your house, and the stick gets laid down on a table by a child, and or toothpicks. Sometimes people are using toothpicks and they set it down. Dog or cat gets the toothpick. My all-time favorite, how many times do you hear, Joni, that people say, oh, my cat just loves to play with twist ties? Well, we need to remember that inside that twist tie is a wire.
That's right.
And it can be poked in the mouth, and if they do swallow it, they are going to, you know, possibly have a problem. And
Randall's doing
Randall
a really
is
nice job of
proving that,
yes.
that twist ties are very attractive to cats and dogs, and they like to play with them, and they can ingest them. And I brought a little sample of foil. Foil can be one of two things. Foil that you wrap your food in, or you cover the turkey with, and you take it off the turkey and you lay it on the countertop, and the dog goes, ooh, that smells like turkey.
Yeah, you bet.
And ingest the foil along with the wonderful savory juices that are on there. Or foil is also used for decorative wrapping inside gift bags. And so, again, it's he really wanted that, didn't he?
Yes, he really did.
And here we have, I brought a big roll of this is something that was sitting in my cupboard. And it wasn't until one of my cats got in the cupboard I realized, isn't this a dangerous thing for me to have in my cupboard with this nice big needle? Very hazardous. Not a good pet owner. I flunked this one, so we'll have to take care of that when I get home.
No chocolate for you,
No
Cheryl.
chocolate for me. Plastic bags. A lot of times people will bring plastic bags home from the grocery store, and their cat crawls in it. They come back out, they get their head caught in the handles. I had a cat, truthfully, that this happened to. He got his head caught in the bag, started running because the bag was chasing him, and got really scared, and ended up with quite a mess throughout my house
Right.
as he tried to get away from the plastic bag. So with plastic bags and